It's been a long day. It's been a long 2 days. Yeah. I didn't think I'd be able to get through this talk because there's so much stuff and I took a lot of stuff out. But that was like if I'd given the talk at 8 o'clock in the morning, but now it's 6, it would probably finish really fast. Aphantasia, a personal reflection. Disclaimer, first off, this is all speculative, just my opinion about me. So I can't be wrong, right? So it's just all about me. There's a lot of bad speculation out there on the web, the dark web. You go out there and it's like, okay, my talk is just about me and my personal opinion about myself. And I started looking at it on the web and it's like all these people said they had aphantasia and is saying weird stuff. And it's like, no, I don't buy that at all. And so I didn't go, it's just me. And then it's like, I also did not get any of the AIs to research their deep research and come back with all this medical stuff and all that kind of stuff. No, I didn't do that. I haven't done that. So I don't know what kind of medical research or anything on this is. Session synopsis. Yeah, a little background. So it's like, I always wanted to write my history because I'm kind of old now, I'm 69. And about my history as with hacking and all this kind of stuff. But I can't write. I'm a terrible writer. It's like, so I couldn't publish it for 20 It's terrible. And then all this AI came out. I said, great. So I can take that and AI write my biography and everything. And it's terrible. It was absolutely terrible. So then it was like, well, maybe I could come up with something and present at Hope, which I've never been to before. But it's like 2 years, every 2 years. I can't wait that long. And then they change it to every year. I go, okay, maybe I can do it this year. Maybe that's a sign. But I didn't know what to talk about. And I thought, maybe aphantasia, but I didn't think aphantasia is really a hacker topic. So I asked a couple of the AIs, I think Grok and ChatGPT, if that would be a good topic to talk about. In their patronizing way, they both said, yeah, that's great. That's absolutely great. I go, I'm not so sure about that. And then I told them, it's like, okay, if it's great, write me up a letter to apply and write me up a synopsis. And that's what this is. So this is not me. I didn't write this. You can tell by the hyphens in there. I don't write with hyphens. There's a lot of hyphens in there. That's not me, except some of the stuff at the bottom. This is kind of my words down here. The rest of this is not. I mean, I wouldn't have put all that stuff in there, but they said that. And I wanted to add this stuff too, because I'm going to relate aphantasia to AI, because a lot has happened in the AI world in the last 7 to 10 days. And I got a vent. I mean, I come here, I got to watch the time because I got a vent. So basically, instead of talking just about me and aphantasia, I'm splitting this into 2 parts. Part 1 is going to be my journey with aphantasia, like I talked about. And the second one is going to be, part 2 is going to be aphantasia, hacking, and AI with some venting in there. So gotta keep watching the time. I gotta hit finish part 1 in 25 minutes, probably will. Part 1, my journey with aphantasia. So this is what it wrote in this presentation, Earl. That just seems kind of weird. I will say that when I ran this by the AIs, they both told me that for my name on the program, I should not say Dr. Earl Brown. And I thought, well, I don't know, because at the time I thought I was going to talk about the medical aspects of aphantasia and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not. And so I put it in there, but they told me not to, but I did it anyway, and now I kind of regret that. But I am a pathologist, and I've been a teacher for, actually 38 years. Who am I? This is me, professor of pathology, Quillen College of Medicine and ETSU. That's ETSU right there. Aerial view. That's Johnson City is right there. It's about 90 miles northeast of Knoxville. Oh, that's me. This is not AI generated. This was done by a student of mine about 15 years ago. I was a lot younger back then. Okay, so about 15 years ago. And that's me teaching in the auditorium. And this is actually a blood smear. Actually, it's a bone marrow smear. So I'm an MD, I'm a pathologist, and I am a hematopathologist. Oh, more about me. That's not enough about me. I grew up, part of in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I went to college there at McNeese State University in 73 to 77. That's a long time ago. The reason I say that is because I don't really have any regrets. The only regret I have maybe is is, oh, by the way, this is a great book. Hackers, Heroes. This is a great book. Talked about hacking the early years and stuff like that. This discusses early MIT artificial intelligence. If I wish that I could have gone to MIT back in the 70s. Wow, that would have been something. That would have been something. All the hacking really started coming to fruition. But my circumstance, that would never have happened. I didn't have the means to even contemplate that. But that would have been a kind of cool thing. Instead, I ended up in medicine, LSU School of Shreveport, medicine in Shreveport. I was there, medical school 77 to 81, residency to 85, and I stayed there a couple of years at the VA to 87. The reason I say that's important, the reason I mention that, is because about that time, in my own mind, there's an overlap that's not really overlap with id software, So Doom Guy, this is John Romero, John Carmack. Id got its start, sort of, in Shreveport, supposedly in a carport of a house in Shreveport, but it really didn't happen that way. But it was close. It was close. This actually is a good book. That's a good book. So 4.0, it actually drew this timeline. It was before the new changes when it got all bad the last week. And it did this thing. User. I'm the user. I'm at Shreveport there. And John Romero actually came a couple of years earlier before id software. But it's not quite. But I, in my mind, like to think, wow, if things would just been a little bit different. My interests, because this is about me. Books. I have started reading a lot of books lately, just because. This is all you need to know about me. I read this over the summer. 4,000 pages, my goodness. Best series ever, Dungeon Crawler Carl. So, yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I thought it was going to end on book 7, but no. Now I got to wait for book 8, and I got to reread 7 because a lot of things was happening in that book. Best book ever. So I read this over the summer, and I thought, let's talk about, Grok and all this kind of stuff. Stranger in Strange Land, because Elon's invented Grok, and then he named Valentine, his avatar thing. And I thought, I'm going to reread that book because it came out in 1961. I think I read it in late 60s, and I kind of remember, I thought Grok, the term was cool. I thought the book was good. So I read it, or tried to reread it a couple of weeks ago. Oh my God. Worst sci-fi ever. That book is so bad. I don't know, so bad. I couldn't get through it. Oh my God, it did not age well. I don't know what the hell Elon was thinking to name it. Oh, the term looks bad. The book is bad. Oh my God. I don't know. And I thought it was good because like Stranger in a Strange Land. It's kind of like I felt and stuff. But the book's got nothing to do with Stranger in a Strange Land. He wasn't Michael the guy, Valentine. He wasn't a stranger in a strange land. That was not supposed to be the title. It's got nothing to do with it anyway. I do like video games. Best video game ever is Baba Is You. See anybody played it? Best video game ever. Check it out. If you don't remember anything from this talk, check out Baba Is You. And I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. My journey with Aphantasia. That's what I'm talking about. What is Aphantasia? Well, stupid AI wrote it in the synopsis, so I took away my thing, yeah. Aphantasia, the inability to form mental images, is a little rare, blah, 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 blah. 1 to 4, say about 2% of the population. Who knew? Do I have aphantasia? To ask yourself if you knew it or something like that. Well, the classic thing is close your eyes and picture an apple, and then have somebody tell them that and have them describe the apple. And that's one of the tests. I really don't do this test anymore. I'm just telling you. Because when I found out about aphantasia, I told this test to several people, and then they would start describing the apple. And then I say, I can't see anything. And they go, well, I can't see anything either. And then we get in arguments and all kind of stuff, I'm here. So I don't know what's going on here. I have no concept. I thought I was totally normal. I thought when people said they see images in their head, I thought it was metaphorical. And then a couple of years ago, I found out no, that's a real thing. And it's like, weird. That's really weird. It's so weird. I can't even imagine what that's like to close your eyes and see images. I can't even imagine it. Yeah, this is what I see. That's what I see. I close my eyes. That's what I see. I can't do anything differently. Yeah, problems talking about aphantasia. They get really mad because I say, I can't see anything. They say, well, I don't really see anything. And then I say, okay, picture a beach scene after they told me they couldn't see it. And I say, picture a beach scene, and they start describing the beach scene. And then I say, picture a boat on the water. And they go, yeah. I say, can you see it? They say, yeah. I say, make the boat move. And can you see that? And they go, yeah. And I say, whoa. So it's like they don't have aphantasia. I think for somebody to really have aphantasia that's never heard of it, when you first describe it to them, they're going to freak out. That's happened to me. It's like, wait, what? And it's just totally foreign to you. So if they don't have that reaction, probably don't have aphantasia. That being said, if I was really going to look for aphantasia, I'd make some sort of form, with a bunch of different questions, not just one, and kind of have things plus or minus in there, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, moving images. Who knew? I can't even imagine that. Oh, my God. First time when I found out I had aphantasia, first thing that I thought of, right off the bat, was this Cartman clip. Cartman doesn't have aphantasia. That's one of the clips I was going to show if I have time. But it's like I thought of that right away. So then I asked 4.0, GPT 4.0, if Cartman has aphantasia. And it searched like 90 websites in 2 seconds, and it came back and said, no, he doesn't have, there's no evidence and all that kind of stuff. I asked Grok 3 at the time, same thing, 100 websites in 2 seconds, said no. I go, well, what about the Helen Keller episode? Right? I told him the episode. And Grok 3 said, well, it does kind of maybe relate to it, but no, we can't be sure. And then I asked 4.0, and it said, yeah, that proves he doesn't have aphantasia. So it's like, to me, that kind of just meta illustrates the whole point of the talk, and that when I get to the end about AI, like I knew right away, when I found out about aphantasia, my first thought was Cartman, because I knew about it and stuff like that, and I related it to it. I knew instantly like that. Where you ask this to an AI, and they can search the web, all that kind of stuff, and they couldn't find it. I guess if I told them to look at every episode, maybe they come back in 12 hours and tell me yes or something. I don't know. Question for A does, yeah, that's what I said. Questionnaire, so I would make a questionnaire. Okay, that's fine. When did I first learn about aphantasia? It seems like it was only yesterday, but it was a couple years now. It was about the time of the World Chess Championship of 2018. Because about 2018, I found out that there was this thing called Twitch. Wow, Twitch. And they were streaming live all the World Chess Championship. I'm going, oh my God. So last time I saw that was back in the Fischer-Savasky thing, where it was only sort of live on PBS, But oh my God, this is fascinating. So I started watching and all that stuff. Then I noticed this is Hikaru Nakamura, that they'd always look away from the board and do all this thinking. And I'm going, what the heck is that? I didn't know about aphantasia yet. I'm going, what is that? I don't understand what they're doing. And then on chess.com, they talked about something where blindfold chess, and you got to picture the board in your head and be able to move pieces around. I'm going, I can't do that. I don't know what they're talking about. Absolutely know what they're talking about. And that was about the time that I found out about aphantasia. And I go, well, that's not fair. I can't see the board at all. And soon after that, Queen's Gambit came out, where she could actually apparently see the chessboard, not in her mind's eye, but out in the real space. Apparently there's a name for that, right? It's called prosphantasia, where you can see it outside. That's crazy. So this is aphantasia and the blah, 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 blah. Hyper, you can see it really well. This is me over here. But apparently some people not in their heads, they can see it outside of the thing. That being said, I'm not going to talk about any of that. I'm not going to talk about not being able to hear voices and sounds in your head. I'm just talking about me. It's aphantasia. Okay, I will. This is what ChatGPT said or somebody. Both good and bad on every experience of chess, piano, drawing, reading, memory, and learning, blah, blah, blah. Then got to talk about hacker. I got to vent about AI if we have time. The good and the bad with aphantasia. The bad, chess. Yeah, so what's up with that with chess? Do chess players rely on mental imagery? I don't know anybody that really plays chess around where I am or plays it good enough to ask them. If somebody's here that's really good and you can tell me, I would like to know. They have to be, looking away and stuff like that, but I don't get it. So I asked, yeah. So none of the AIs helped me put together this talk. This is all me. It's all me, my thing right here. Except every once in a while I ask them something and I'll cite it down here. So I asked 4.0 about it. And yeah, you can trust everything they say, right? So it says most chess player with visual rely on. Yeah. So 4.0 said, yeah, most players do that. I go, okay. I don't get it. But then it says like people with aphantasia can't do it. Pattern-based knowledge. So that kind of sucked because I'm getting to the retirement age, and I thought, well, I can retire and start spending a lot of time. I got a lot of time to kill. I can play a lot of chess and online chess and be great. Then I found out about this aphantasia thing, and I said, it's not fair. It's not fair. I'm not going to spend all my time trying to do this when people can see the board and I can't. So I was like, darn. Anyway, maybe they should do like different categories for the chess tournaments. Aphantasia people and everybody else. But then how do you know the people who have aphantasia? I do like to play the piano. I'm not good at it, but I do like to play the piano. And especially nowadays where you can get any kind of sheet music on any song you want, stuff like that. But my question is, do pianists, I play about an hour a day or something, do pianists rely on mental imagery? I don't know, because it's like I'm trying to memorize all these pieces. And a long time ago, it was muscle memory. And that's not good. Because you rely on muscle memory, you can screw up really bad. I can type really fast, but I have no idea what the keyboard looks like. I don't know if that's normal or anything. If you ask me where a certain character is on the keyboard, I have no idea. Not a clue. But I just muscle memory. So it's like, you can't do muscle memory. I'm just guessing because I am not a talented musician, but you can't do muscle memory. So do these people that are really good, do they memorize the score? Do they see the keyboard in front of them? I don't know. So I asked, yeah. Oh, this is Google AI. Said, yeah, so they do visualize the score and the keyboard. I'm going, huh, that would make things a lot easier instead of, I got to memorize the key patterns and stuff. And it's like, well, that's a lot harder than if I could see the darn keyboard in my. Mm-mm. So this is 4.0. So 4.0 agreed with him, so like that. And then it said for us with aphantasia, yeah, we're having problems. That's not fair. What about drawing? Do artists rely on mental imagery? Okay, I'm not a good drawer at all, not at all. My daughter from my first wife, she's like really good. Didn't get it from me. But do artists rely on mental imagery? So I asked, this is 4.0. So yeah, they typically do. I go, well, that would make things a lot easier if I could see it in my head, but I can't. So not a clue. My earliest memory of something, if I think back when I was different because I had aphantasia, it was in 6th grade. I don't remember much about 6th grade, but I do remember the teacher came up to me and asked me if I would draw for the newspaper, if I draw a picture of a cartoon of a frog. And I know what a frog looks like. I know what a cartoon of a frog, but I couldn't do it. I had no clue where to even start or what it looked like. Not a clue. But if I had a picture there, I could have drawn it really good. If I had a picture in my mind, I could have done it. But totally black, could not have done it. Not a clue. Recognizing faces. I can recognize faces really good. I can tell people's voices. I can recognize faces really, really good. But how does aphantasia affect describing faces? This is what I see. Like if I close my eyes and I think about my kids, I can recognize my kids. But if I think about what they look like or my ex-wives, what they look like, this is what I see. Not a clue. I don't see anything. But if you ask me to describe I have not a clue. Not a clue. I couldn't do it. Like I can never understand, see all these criminal sketch artists and the people describe them and they draw it and it looks like them. I couldn't do that. I don't know how people did that. It was always strange to me. If you asked me to describe I couldn't. I don't know I couldn't do it. And then if they tried to draw something, I wouldn't have an idea whether that was right or wrong. Not a clue. Yeah. So people with vision, they can do it. Aphantasia people can't do it, according to 4.0. Prosopagnosia. It's hard for me to say prosopagnosia. That is not being able to, you see somebody and you don't know who they are. You don't recognize them because you see them, but you can't recognize them from their face. That's not the same thing as aphantasia, not at all. Oh, spoiler alert. From this video game from 2010, 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. The killer, and he's the killer, in it, he had aphantasia. And that's what gave the clue that he was it. Recognizing surroundings. What I see, like if I can see all y'all there, if I close my eyes, this is what I see, black. I don't see anything. Apparently, I'm told that most people, if you close your eyes, you still get a visual image of what you were looking at. I don't know what that means. I have not a clue. But this is the way my brain works. So I see that. I have no clue what that is. This is our cat Bandit. Bandit's that cat is so scared. That's so scared. But you people that have cats, you know that cats, they know where every object is. She knows where every object in the room is. So she comes downstairs. If an object is gone, she'll go over and investigate why it's gone. Or if there's a new little object somewhere in the room, she'll see it and she'll go investigate it to see if she can kill it or it can kill her. And then she just leaves it alone. That's amazing. So my mind is like when you talk about visualizing objects, cats and spatial recognition. Question, do cats have aphantasia? Really, does she keep the objects in her mind or does she have the mental image? And how would you know? How would you figure out whether cats had aphantasia or not? I told that to some people at work and they just laughed at me, but I was kind of being serious. If you could figure it out in a cat, maybe you could figure it out in a person and make sure they had aphantasia, and then you could have the different things for the chest. How could you tell? And there's different questions, is aphantasia familial? If anybody wants to do studies, this would be a great study to do. But first, you got to be able to make sure they had aphantasia. Is it related to a gene? My guess is probably yes. It's not like a learned thing. It's probably related to a gene. The good, patterns. So I think everybody, this is my speculation, I think everybody thinks in patterns. I really think in patterns. Oh my goodness. Do people with aphantasia excel with pattern recognition? Yeah. I see everything in patterns and I think in patterns. What about pathologists? One thing pathologists do, we get the biopsies from people. The doctors, send us the tissue and we look at it under the microscope. And so we're really good at pattern recognition, pathologic cell pattern recognition. Yeah, and if we don't know what it is, we'll look it up in a book and say, oh, it kind of looks like this and stuff like that. So that being said, I have no idea what the slide looks like, but I can remember the details and stuff. It's kind of weird. So it's like pattern matching from pictures. I'm really good at that. In fact, if I saw a picture of something of like a past specimen or something like that, I would remember that I've seen it before, like years later. I will remember that, and most pathologists do. It's kind of strange. Incidence of aphantasia in pathologists. I asked a couple of my coworkers about this, to give them the test, and they kind of said they had aphantasia, but I'm not so sure. So that's when I quit asking people. But that'd be an interesting thing. What about teaching? I've taught like forever. Organization. I'm really good at organization. Oh my God, patterns and organization. And I love analogies. That's what I think makes a good teacher. I'm 24/7, always thinking about analogies and would it help me explain something all the time. Patterns, patterns, patterns. That's what I think of, and I think that makes a good teacher. Do people with aphantasia? I think so, but not all. But I think that's a good attribute. Incidence of aphantasia in teachers, is it higher than the general population? I have no idea. It'd be an interesting study. Speculating on how aphantasia may create creativity in the hacker mindset. So one of the people I worked with, I was telling him I was coming up here to do the thing, and he says, how can you give a talk about aphantasia at a hacker conference? That's a good question. It's a good question. Okay, so that's the end of part one. So that was me. And now we're going to part two. Google's going good so far. Part two, aphantasia, hacking, and AI. Hacking and aphantasia. What is hacking? I know what hacking is. I know what I describe it, but I couldn't come up with a good definition. I tried to, so I ran it by 4.0. 4.0. And it was kind of good, but I like this down here. Clever. I stole that word. That's a good word. Clever. Okay, so I did that. Clever use of technology to do something cool. That's my idea of hacking. And it's pretty much software hacking. At least that's what you can do, other kind of hacking. But hacking networks and stuff like that. But that's kind of what I think of software hacking. My earliest software hack that I remember, it was back in 1977 when I was first year of med school. Back then, Pong had just come out like the year before. Pong, we were all amazed at Pong. Oh my God. But you can't play Pong that long. But in the 70s, late 70s, backgammon was a thing. I don't know if it's come back or something. It was a thing. We played backgammon all the time. And about the time in the first year, one of the biochemistry professors, he had a 2D plot printer, 2D printer. And I asked him if I could have access to it because he could program it. And he said, yeah. So it's like, I remember it was 16K. The memory is 16K. I have no idea what the programming language was or not. But I programmed a backgammon game on a 16K on a 2D printer. It's like, oh my God, this is so cool. So I brought my friends up there to show them how cool this was, right? It's really, really cool. And it started playing backgammon. And about the third or the fourth move, my friend looked at its move and said, that's a stupid move. And I go, what? It's playing backgammon. And I said, it's playing backgammon. It's like, oh my God. So it's like, wow. At least it didn't make an illegal move like the LLMs are doing when they try to play chess. It would have played an illegal move, might have been dumb, but it would have been illegal. Anyway. So hacking takes I2. It takes a lot of things, but I2. Intelligence and imagination. And other things, intelligence and imagination. Qualities found in people with aphantasia. Yeah. Intelligence and imagination. Hackers and aphantasia. Do people with aphantasia make good hackers? I think that'd be a good study to do something like that. I think from my own standpoint, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, it's an organizational thing because I can't see anything. So I got to organize things really good, not organize things and concretely and all that kind of stuff. So my guess is yes. Incidence of aphantasia in hackers probably greater than the national. I don't know. Be an interesting study. Maybe somebody, when you got a good way, you do questionnaire maybe next year and pass it around and see what the results are. I'm not going to do it, but you could do it. Aphantasia versus AI. There is no A2 in AI. I always say there's no I in AI. There's none. It tells